What's up, everybody? This is Roman. Welcome to Urban Gospel Choir. I know this is different. I know that I haven't posted a video in like a week. I have learned that I am an emotional creator. I've learned that my emotions affect my output, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I know that when I do feel great, I feel like I create greatness. And currently, I don't feel great, but I feel daring, I feel inspired, and that's why I'm making this video. And it's gonna be very, very different. When I made this channel, I talked about not wanting to be the way I was, not wanting to not wanting to just please people. And when it came to the content, I would say 70 to 80% of the time I was being very true to myself. And the other time I was trying to be aesthetically pleasing. And I caught myself this week because of the things that I've been looking at, the things that I've been watching, and I figured out that I wasn't being 100% authentic to myself. And so this is my attempt at being more authentic and real in front of people that don't in front of people that don't understand even myself, because I'm figuring that out. So if you think this is weird, then you're probably seeing truly me. But these past 2 weeks, I have been infatuated with this American icon who I have never watched before, who I was never interested in before, but I don't even know how I came across him. But the person I'm talking about is none other than Mr. Marlon Brando. And as you can see, I have no graphics. I don't have an intro, I don't have music. This is just everything that is being shown or that I'm talking about has come out of me and is at its simplest form, very, very simple creativity. I went to the dollar store. I spent $7 on markers and post-it notes and this journal. I'm using my phone to record. I'm not even using my camera. The only thing that I'm going to do that is complex is put it into Premiere Pro. And actually, I don't even know if I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to upload it straight from my phone to YouTube. It's the complexity that pushes me away. It's not inspiring because I don't even think I'm doing it for myself. Cutting it and adding music to it and adding intros and graphics, like, I don't like that. It's cool, it makes it look professional, but I don't care to be professional. I care to be myself. And going back to Marlon Brando, this guy has really inspired me. And I'll tell you why. Number one, we're gonna talk about Marlon Brando, the movie star. We're talking about him as a movie star. So he came to be huge from this movie called A Streetcar Named Desire, where he plays this angry guy. His wife's sister comes into town and lives with them for a while. And he's just this big, angry guy. And it's revolutionary. In the 1950s, I think it was in 51 that it came out, the way he portrayed his character, I can't even remember his character's name, was revolutionary because he screamed and he yelled and he broke things and he had real emotion. And before his time, before him, people were like, if the line was, the woman said, "I love you, don't you love me?" The way they would act that out would be like, "Of course I love you. You know, why would you think something like that?" super dramatic, no emotion, just like the delivery was so robotic. It would literally be, "Don't you love me?" Quickly they would come in, "Of course I love you. Why don't you, you don't think I love you?" It's just super dramatic. Like no real person ever talks like that. But here he comes, breaking dishes and screaming at the top of his lungs and crying and pausing. That was different. He paused in very dramatic moments, but they were so real. If the line was, "I love you, don't you love me?" there would be a pause. "Of course I love you. Why would you say something like that?" There would be pauses where normal people would breathe. He revolutionized acting in that movie, A Streetcar Named Desire, and even in The Wild One. I think it's The Wild One or The Wild Ones. Man, that movie, he was a motorcycle gang leader, and he was just different. He embodies the characters that he plays, and he used a technique that was new. It wasn't new at the time, but it wasn't popular. Method acting. A lot of actors nowadays, they use method acting. He just, one thing he talked about was that when he looked at characters, he didn't just look at who they wanted him to be, but they looked at the character in other aspects. For example, he played a biker guy. He didn't look at the character as a biker, but what would the biker do if he went to the bathroom? What would he do if he went to the beach? He fully embodied the character and made the character his own person. Man, he has these lines that he came up with in On the Waterfront. That's another movie where he talks to his line, "I want to be a contender. I could have been a winner." It's just the line. It escapes me at this point, but he has these lines in the movies that he's been in that I never knew. Oh, that's Marlon Brando. Watching Modern Family, one of my favorite TV shows, Cam has a moment where he's looking for the dog. They're looking for the dog named Stella, and he yells out, "Stella!" And Marlon Brando, that was him. In the 1950s, he yelled out for his wife, Stella, and I never knew the reference that was being made in that modern TV show. So to think about his influence, he has influenced people that are past his time. He's not alive anymore, but his influence is still being felt. He truly was a movie star because he revolutionized the characters that he portrayed, the way he acted. He was just different. And it wasn't a forceful difference, but it was a natural difference. Like, let me look at this from another perspective, but it's my own perspective, but it's not a perspective that other people would take because it's so true to me. He is a very, very authentic person, and that leads me to another thing. He was a fashion icon. And you were probably wondering how he's a fashion icon. In A Streetcar Named Desire, his uniform, his outfit was a t-shirt tucked into some trousers. And you're probably wondering, why is that important? In the 1950s, people wore collared shirts. You didn't wear t-shirts. That's like wearing your underwear outside and going to the grocery store. It was considered undergarments. I guarantee you right now, you're probably wearing a t-shirt. That was made famous by the character that he played in A Streetcar Named Desire. He wore t-shirts. That was so unheard of at the time, to simply wear a t-shirt. But he revolutionized it and even influenced people like James Dean, who he became an icon for wearing t-shirts into his jeans. Another thing that he made famous, wearing jeans. Marlon Brando, he popularized wearing jeans. People were not wearing Jeans, that was considered workwear. That's like wearing your police uniform around. It's not on your day off, like on a Sunday, like, bro, what are you doing? You're in uniform. He popularized jeans, just being himself. Again, just being true to himself. On that note of being true to himself, he was a believer. That's what he was. A believer in himself. He used his influence to talk about civil rights at the time when it wasn't popular for white people to do that. It wasn't popular for him to stand with Martin Luther King and talk to him, to have a conversation. This was segregation time. This was not, you were not supposed to be seen together, but he didn't care. He had convictions that led him to do things that other people they didn't want to do. He denied an Oscar or an Academy or whatever it was. And you can look this up on YouTube. He denied a very big award, and he sent a Native American, a member of the Native American tribe, to talk about the issues that were going on within them. He was convicted to do what was right, whether or not people thought it was popular. And people didn't think it was popular. They booed her. They booed her because of how, bro, this isn't the time, bro. Everyone's winning awards. Everybody's celebrating themselves. Why are you talking about the social issues of the time? That's not popular. He was a believer in being yourself. He was a believer in standing up for who he thought was right. And he's human. There are probably some positions that he took that weren't right. I'm not a historian in the world. I'm not a historian, but Marlon Brando has truly inspired me to take a different approach to creativity. I want to be more true to myself, and that's what this video ultimately is about. It's not a history lesson on Marlon Brando, but more so a marking point for my own creativity. I want to be more authentic. I want to be raw, and I don't mean raw the way I've talked about it, the way other people have talked about it. Oh, you're being so raw, You're only using one filter instead of 5. Like, no. I have no filters. The only thing I've done was brighten this video so that it wasn't so dark. Maybe I shouldn't have even done that. But ultimately, everything else in this video has truly come from my brain, and it is authentically me. It is completely, everything from this video is a child from my mind. It comes straight from my mind to what you guys can see. And I want to just tell you guys, if you've connected at all with what I'm saying, I want to encourage you. People are not going to agree with the way you put out your content. I don't even want to say content. People are not going to agree with the physical birth of your creativity, because ultimately that's what it is. You labor over these things just like a woman would labor, go into labor with a child. You sweat, you may cry, you may bleed over these things that you create. And people don't understand why you put so much effort into the labor. Just like when my wife had a child, I'm like, bro, how are you doing this? This is not, are you seeing what I'm seeing? This is pain. This is not comfortable. It's not comfortable for me to watch her go through this. I question her sanity when she says she wants to have more kids. I'm like, bro, what? But it's a labor of love that people don't understand. Don't be put off. Don't feel offended when people don't understand the way you put out, the way you display your creativity. I guarantee you a large amount of people are not going to understand the way you do what you do. They're not going to understand the way you think. But your goal, if you are purely being an artist, the goal is not understanding. The goal is How are you birthing out what you're creating? Is it true? Is it truly you? Does what you create have your fingerprint? If you look deep into it and you stared at it, do you find yourself in the physical embodiment of what you created? Can you look at what you created and say, this is me? This is a child of me. I'm super passionate about this because I'm finding that a lot of what I've created has no resemblance to me, and that's very upsetting. To be at the age that I am, which is not dead. However old you are, you're not dead. If you're hearing this message, you're not dead. If you're not dead, then you have time. But it is a little disappointing to find that a lot of what I created does not resemble me. They have the heartbeat that I carry is not in a lot of what I created, but there is hope, there is a light at the end of the tunnel because there's time to create. This is me, 100%. This is me. You know what, I'm not even gonna say 100% because I haven't even come to understand myself, but this is me at least 55%. 55% of this right here, this video, actually with the video, I would say more like 65% because I actually really hate editing. I hate chopping it up. I hate doing all that stuff. This is truly me. At the end of the day, if you hear nothing else, be yourself and be comforted by the fact that people don't understand. And when they don't understand, it's almost an indicator that you are being yourself. Now, I'm not talking about disagreeing. When people disagree with you, I'm not saying that you're being yourself. But when people don't understand, that is a step towards identity. That's a step towards finding your creative fingerprint. Truly, I'm finding mine. I hope this video resonates with you. I hope that you could learn something from the journey that I'm on. I don't care about liking and subscribing and all that crap. You can watch this video one time, and I'm learning to be okay with that. I really am. This is a really different point. I don't even care about posting shorts and getting those views. I'm not doing that anymore, guys. Whenever I post is when I post. And that's really it. I'm not putting pressure on myself to do something at a certain time. At this moment, I don't care about success. This is not. In other areas, I may keep up with the trends and do those things, you know, because at the end of the day, I have to make some money because I have a family. But this is not one of the areas that I am forcing creativity. So I'll see you guys when I see you. This is still Irving Gospel Choir. Just find a local choir. Join your local club. Whatever club that is. Irving Gospel Club. I don't know. I'm playing around with that idea, but I'll see you guys when I see you.